So you were presenting sort of a consulting advice about this Route 522 pipeline. You're talking about the loans?
Correct. Well, this project has required a lot of investigation. We haven't just looked into loans and how to pay for the project. We've made sure that we evaluate anything that could make the construction of the project challenging with regard to a major river crossing.
Right.
There's property that will be impacted. There are requirements that hydraulically we need to get X amount of water to Dominion.
There's a lot of getting down in the weeds, as you
There
mentioned.
is, and it's rightly so. It's a $12 million project.
Yeah.
A very large project for a municipality of this size. So they hired CHA to do what their specialty is, and that is to evaluate every piece of the project, from constructability to permitting to hydraulics, and making sure that we are able to deliver
So
the amount of water that Dominion.
that way, the whole entire project is, everything is under wraps. Everybody knows what they're doing.
And to council staff, I don't think that there's been a time that I've been challenged as much as the town of Front Royal has to make sure that no rock was unturned and that everything was going to be as best possible, move forward as smoothly as it could.
All right.
So I think I've presented in various ways, maybe 4 or 5 different times, based on requests from them to go back and check on this. Go back and make sure we can get under the river. Let's make sure that what we're doing satisfies what we are contractually obligated to provide Dominion Power. So we've systematically checked off all those boxes, all the way up to how do you pay for this project without negatively impacting the ratepayers here.
So
In the town.
on the note of paying and stuff like that, you mentioned this is going to be a $12 million project.
Correct.
But when you brought up the spreadsheets and stuff, you mentioned that the town might have money, might gain revenue after this project. How exactly is that going to happen if it's going to cost so much?
Well, there are 2 pieces to that. One, in the agreement that was originally agreed upon by Dominion and the town of Front Royal, Dominion wanted to have another water line supplied to them because there was only one water line across the river right now. They have a process in which lack of water means they shut down immediately, which is an enormous amount of revenue loss for them. So they say, if you will partner with us, we'll pay up to $3.5 million of the total project cost to get this additional water line to us. So immediately that takes $3.5 million of the 12 out of play because Dominion has agreed to pay that much themselves.
Okay.
So that reduces the project by that amount. Then, the end of December, their rates go up by 1.5 times, also already in the agreement,
Right.
which generates that extra $275,000 a year of revenue. So Dominion themselves, through a agreed upon rate increase, are going to generate $275 extra for the next 5 years. And then when that 5th year hits, it will double again,
Okay.
which is where you saw that $550,000 number.
You're right.
So between rate increases for Dominion and the original $3.5 million that they agreed to pay for the project, by stretching that out over a 30-year term, those 2 numbers are generating enough revenue to pay for the project.
Interesting. So there's a way to sort of fit everything together so that it's not actually going to cost the town.
Right,
anything.
and they're not going to get all that money up front, which means they still have to borrow from somebody to pay the project all at once.
And that's where VRA.
That's
comes
where
in.
VRA or another mechanism comes in place. That gives them an opportunity to have a set payment that's stretched out over a long period of time, and they can wait for that revenue from the rate increases to come in over time, and that helps it match up a lot better.
All right. Well, I think that clears up quite a lot.
There'll be more presentations.
I'm sure there will be, and
We're getting close, but there's a lot of work left to do.
Yeah.
Design, obtaining the funding, making sure the rates holds steady with the Fed movement, and there's a lot of moving pieces right now.
I'm
But
sure there is.
Yes.
Like this, you were talking in my mind, just kind of like a few points there just fogged out, and the details just going over my head. I did my best to take notes.
No worries, no worries.
It seems like you're having a great project here, and I wish you the best of luck.
thank you so much.
Have a good one.
You too.